everyone out there in the land of YouTube, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to have a look at the Inov-8 Parkclaw G280s. So that's it there. Nice and bright colour, nice orange. I do like the colour. It's a nice looking shoe. So it's a road to trail shoe, basically meaning it's good on the road and on a trail. It's not specialising just for road. If you're going to just be doing loads of road stuff, get a road shoe. But this will be a good shoe if your run takes you from a road to get to a trail, which loads of us have to run on a road to get to a trail. Or if you're doing a long run and you're doing loads of road stuff, but incorporate some, if you're doing lots of trail stuff and it incorporates some road in there, then that's what this shoe is aimed at. So before we get going, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Leave a like at the end, leave a comment, ask me some questions. If you have already subscribed, thanks very much. So I've done about 45 miles in these, which isn't a massive amount, but it has given me time to get some initial thoughts and see how they're bedded in when I've been running. So I'll tell you some of the specs of the shoe itself, and I've got some footage of different types of terrain so you can see what sort of terrain I've been running on, and I can give you my thoughts on how they performed there. Okay, let's get going. So, some stats. So it's an 8mm drop on the shoe. Let's start off with, I'll do the stats in no particular order, so I'll just waffle through. 8mm drop, it is 10mm at the forefoot and 18mm on the heel. It is dripping in graphene. So the graphene, that's what the G is when they say the Parkclaw G280. G stands for graphene. That's got a big G just on the side there, and on the other side as well, it says G-Fly as well. So graphene, Inov-8 claim it to be the strongest material in the world. Who am I to say anything different? It performs really well. I've got graphene in various other Inov-8 shoes, and they've still got tons of life left in them. So that's one of the good things about graphene. It's going to last a long time, very strong and durable. Graphene shoes do cost a bit more than the non-graphene versions, except they also do a Parkclaw 260, but it's not a G260, and that's a lot less expensive. So if you see Parkclaw 260 on the internet and think, oh, that's cheap, I can grab a bargain, it's a different shoe. It doesn't have the graphene. Price of the shoe, whilst we're on that, price of the shoe is £160, which sounds a lot, but it's going to last a long time, so you're better off buying something that's going to be long lasting, strong and durable, and you're only having to buy it once and not replace it in such a quick time as you would with a non-graphene type of shoe. So 160 quid is the price of the shoe. 8mm drop. Where else am I going with this? So the graphene, we've got graphene on the outsole. So on the outsole, have a look at that. Okay, first thing that jumps out, or first thing that did jump out at me, was the amount of lugs on here. It's mental. There's lugs all over the show. 98 lugs per shoe. I did start to count them earlier on, got to 12 and then gave up because I lost where I was up to. So 98 lugs, 4mm in depth. Can you see the depth on that? So long lasting. It's also got grooves. Oh, my phone keeps going off. Grooves, flex grooves. So it's got a flex groove going across here, and it's got flex groove going down here, which basically means when you're running on a trail and your foot's doing all sorts of different angles, when you're going over stones, tree roots and such like, the shoe can adjust and flex in multiple directions. On the lugs themselves, they're multi-directional lugs as well. So it gives, that's one of the reasons why it's called Parkclaw, because it gives a claw-like grip, because there's so many lugs in there. I did think when I first picked it up, and I thought, are these going to get clogged up with dirt, mud, whatever you're running through when you're on a trail? But they didn't, and I'll show you that in one of the clips I've got coming up shortly. So it's been a good mix of trails in wet conditions. It's not chucking it was chucking it down just before I started running,
and it's just been on and off since I have been running. So the ground is wet, it is slippy. So they've had a good test on multiple terrains. So it's not too bad. Am I going the right way? Yes. Oh, hold on, let's show you something. So on this kind of pine needle kind of terrain I'm running on, this is how, oops, if I can balance on one leg, that's how much they've clogged up. So they've not clogged up much at all. I'll walk this bit. They've not clogged up much at all, and as I'm running, whatever is in there is coming out again as I flex the shoe. So the 98 little lugs seem to be doing the trick.
As your foot was moving about and flexing, anything was popping out. So clears quite nicely when you're actually running in them. The midsole, it's called G-Fly. Here we go, G-Fly. So G-Fly it's a graphene midsole, and that is supposed to give you, gotta remember all my facts here, numbers, 25% more energy return than standard midsole. When I've been using it, it's performed really well, has been responsive. It's not the type of shoe that you're gonna have which is super duper light and nimble and you feel everything that you're running over. That's not that shoe. This shoe is, it's got tons of protection. I feel as if my foot is protected when it's in the shoe. I feel as if it's cushioned. There's lots of cushioning. We'll go into the cushioning shortly. Well, the midsole is giving you extra cushioning as well. And where are we? It's got an insole on the inside here, which is, if I pull that out, that's what they call a boomerang insole. Which doesn't mean when you do that it comes back again. See, if I edit this properly, it'll come back this way. I'm still trying. I'm giving up. Okay, boomerang insole. The boomerang insole is supposed to give you 40%, loads of stats and figures that Inov-8 put out there, 40% more bounce and springiness to the insole than on a standard insole. I don't know about 40%, but it is super duper springy. All those little dots on there are, it's like a trampoline for your feet. So is very cushioned. So that, with the extra cushioning of that particular insole, which they use in different shoes as well, that in there with the G-Fly midsole is giving you plenty of cushioning. And when it's giving you plenty of cushioning, it's not like a super duper soft, like a Hoka, very soft cushioned shoe. It's just a nicely cushioned shoe. It's still cushioned when you're running on the road.
So here we are back on the road. So I'd have no problems at all running an ultra with these. It's where you always get loads of bits of road on the run. So on the run at the moment, yeah, they're not feeling too clumpy or anything. There's still that nice cushioning. Nothing feels uncomfortable at all. I'm not running particularly fast, and I'm not going to, because I'm attempting to run to heart rate, which is quite tricky when you're trying to record. Oh, car coming.
What else have we got? Fit scale. Fit scale is, Inov-8 use fit scale, so they have a fit scale, which basically means how broad, what the fit's going to be like on the shoe itself. And they go from 1 being narrow to 5 being their widest. This gets a 4. To be honest, I'd prefer it if it was a 5. It fits my foot nicely. Just on the first few runs I did on it, my little toe was rubbing just over here ever so slightly. But that went away after my first couple of runs. But if it was a wee bit wider, I dare say that wouldn't have happened in the first place. But that's not been an issue since my first couple of runs. So it does get a fit scale of 4. So it just depends on how wide, what sort of shape, what depth your feet are. Ideally, get on your feet, see how they fit you. Okay, let's have a look at the upper. So the upper of the shoe, so they've got what they call a knitted mesh upper, which is, here we go, have a butcher's of that. And that's it on its side, just like so. It's got holes on the top for breathability, and there's no stitching on there. So that's what they call a knitted mesh upper. So fairly breathable. I've not had any issues with it. I do live in Scotland, so it hasn't been blisteringly hot, and whether or not it ever will be, who knows. What else on the upper? We've got toe bumper. So toe bumper on the end here, just to protect your toes. It's not the hardest toe bumper in the world, but there is protection, which is nice, because it's quite easy to stub your toes on a rock when you're running on a trail. What else? We've got the tongue. Let's have a look. Right, I'll lace these laces. The tongue. Here we go. It's a nice big fat cushioned tongue. So I'm a big fan of cushioned tongues like that, and it's gusseted as well, which I don't know if you can see in there. That basically means the tongue shouldn't slop from one side to the other. It's not totally free flowing like that. It is going to be kept central like so. So gusseted cushioned tongue. Sometimes when you get tongues and they're super duper thin, and the company's trying to save a bit of weight, then when you lace the laces up, you can feel just a little bit of pressure on the top there. No, not going to happen with this at all. Tons of cushioning on there. Nicely cushioned around here as well, around the heel counter. The laces themselves, nice laces. It's got a bit of texture in the lace. If I hold that like that, maybe it'll focus on it. So there's some texture in the lace. So when you tighten it up, the lace doesn't come undone. I've not had to double knot the laces at all when I've been out for a run. So I like the laces. Also got the extra little hole at the top here, so you can do the runner's knot. So if your heel slips a little, depending on the shape of your foot, you've got the ability to do the extra loop on the top here. If you're not sure what the runner's knot is, I made a sub 1 minute video. I'll stick the link just up the top here, which explains to you how to tie the runner's knot. So laces, that's good. On the tongue again, we've got these little parts here where you just lace the lace through, keeps everything nice and central, stops the tongue moving about. Heel tab, it's got a heel tab on the back there. So some people think, what's the point in having a heel tab? A couple of good points. One, some people like to have it to help put the shoe on, and also it's a good way to attach the shoe if you're attaching them to a pack. Say your shoes you've got a spare set of shoes. These are absolutely gipping. They're muddy, wet, they're horrible. You want to dry them out in the sun. You can just lace that through onto the back of your pack, and that is one way of doing that. What else have we got? I've said the price, I've said the weight. So G280 is the weight of the shoe in a certain size. I think it's supposed to be UK 9. I'm not UK 9, and most of you probably aren't a UK 9 either. I'm a UK 11, and that shoe weighs 344 grams in a UK 11. It's not the lightest shoe in the world, but certainly not the heaviest. Bonus points for it not being overly light, in my eyes anyway, is you've got the extra protection in there. You feel as if your foot is protected when you're running on a trail. It's not skimping on things like putting in a little skinny tongue. It's giving you that comfort. So in summary, if you're looking for a shoe that's mainly hard pack trail with a bit of road, get a pair of these, get them on your feet, see if they fit. If they do, give them a go. Hope you like the review, hope your running's going well, and I'll see you next time.